Hey again, folks, and welcome back to another fan mail unboxing. I know some will probably say this is getting rather repetitive, but today's package comes from friend and fellow YouTuber Douglas Rowe over in California. He recently scored me some stuff that he knew I'd be interested in, so you guys know the drill. Let's get into it. Alright, let's see what surprises are in this box. As always, I'm assuming Douglas sent along far more than what he said he was going to. Know a few things that are in this box, not everything. But go ahead and... Yep, he's packed quite a bit in here. So now I guess just start unpacking stuff. Obviously, we'll take a closer look at things as we get further along. And probably depending how interesting this is, I'll speed up the video. But obviously, we got the typical Thomas and Friends items that Douglas usually sends. Okay, is that hinting at something? Okay, is there anything in this, or is this just padding? But, I don't know. I think we'll just speed up the video here. Well, here's everything that came out of the box. And up the back here, I recognize these 00 scale tankers from Hornby's Thomas Friends line. I actually purchased these from Douglas. I believe he just gifted me these two ERTL items, along with about everything else here, although I'm thinking I did pay for that tractor, so that's never something I purchased. But a majority of what he sent along is gifts. And I think we'll go ahead and look at the rolling stock first. So I've opened all but one of the tankers, and that's because I wanted to give you guys a quick look at the box before I showed you the models. And I've got one of the milk tankers still in the box here, and the boxes for this are pretty similar to the tar wagon other than just different product information on the side. But you can see how the milk tanker is presented. This is the older Hornby packaging. Probably also the most sought after. On the end here you can see we've got the product number, Tidmouth Milk Tank Wagon. And going on to the back of the box here, you've got a list of other stuff that was in Hornby's Thomas and Friends range. If you want to read any of this, you can pause the video. But not really a whole lot else to say. I'm not seeing any dates on this box. But we'll go ahead and get the model out here. And... quite easy to get into this box. If I can get the... having a little... there we go. Had a little trouble there. But, okay, here is the Tidmouth Milk Tanker. And I quite like the look of this. Just personal preference. I personally feel that the Hornby Thomas and Friends tankers, they look better than the Bachmann ones. Again, that's just my personal opinion. But I do have sort of a connection with the Tidmouth Milk Tanker by Hornby because 20 plus years ago, I think it was, when I first got into this hobby, I actually got one of these from my local hobby shop, which I just remember seeing it and I was quite surprised because, you know, Bachmann hadn't announced one of these. And then when I looked into Hornby a little more, I couldn't believe that my hobby shop actually had this because, you know, it came from the UK. But you can see it's got all the little details with the bracing and the straps, and even got rivet details and such. And I especially like the text here. You sort of got like the stencil with the milk. This is obviously an older one because I doubt you'll be able to read this. But it does say on the bottom here, made in Great Britain. Of course, all the Hornby stuff was made in China years later. And I'm going to say this is probably, if I had to guess, late 80s, early 90s when this came out. The only thing I am a little disappointed about with this tanker is that it's got the plastic wheels. Definitely not a fan of plastic wheels. I'd kind of like to swap those out for metal ones in future. But yeah, really nice looking milk tanker. And I'll go ahead and reach back here and grab just one of the tar tankers to show you guys. And unfortunately, all three of these have the same issue, which is something Douglas did make me aware about, is that the cables here have actually broke. And I'm not too concerned about that. That, for me, is an easy fix. I've actually done it on the milk tanker in the background there behind the Berkshire. Got that from Eddie, and one of these was broke, and it wasn't that hard to fix. You just have to know what you're doing. But the tar wagon, it's just like the milk tanker and just different design. Again, I do like the stencil look of the tar on here as opposed to just the solid white lettering, which we had on the Bachmann version. But I think some would honestly like to see tar on the end as well, because we did see that. This is another one that was made in Great Britain, and again, plastic wheels. Would like to swap them out for metal ones if I can. But yeah, it's really nice, especially the fact that I've got 3 of these tar tankers now, and including the milk tanker I already had, and I got 3 of those. But I do have to give a big thank you to Douglas. The fact that he basically found out his local hobby shop had these tankers for sale at a very reasonable price. That's kind of why I had him pick me up a few of them. Up next, we got some diecast pieces, the first one being by M2 Machines and the other one being by ERTL, which we'll look at the M2 Machines first. And you can see here we've basically got a shell, looks sort of like a service truck. If I just look on the bottom here, it should say what it is. Looks like 1959 GMC truck and 2024 cast line incorporated, so it would be recent to this year. You know, M2 Machines, it's definitely one of my favorite diecast replica manufacturers out there. I also enjoy like Auto World, and Johnny Lightning does have some good stuff from time to time. Same with Greenlight. But you know, I do like the M2 Machines, and I have looked at some M2 Machines on the channel back when I was still doing diecast reviews. Sadly, I don't do them anymore just because, well, there's no point in making reviews nobody wants to watch. But, I mean, getting onto this replica, though, it is nicely detailed. Just, you know, what you expect from M2 Machines. You can see it's got detail around the grille, the headlights, the bumper. There's some rivet details. The hood does open. You got a detailed engine in there, which looks nice. The hood doesn't seem to stay up. But you've also got opening doors on the truck, and there is detail in the interior there. I know it's probably hard to see, but, you know, opening hood, opening doors, really nice. Also like the paintwork on this. The graphics look to be done very well. You got the Shell logo, and, you know, then we've got a nicely detailed utility bed. This looks pretty similar to the bed that was on that Squad 51 Douglas sent me in the last fan mail unboxing. On the back here, you can see we've got taillight details, also details around this, I want to call it a cap, basically. But you've also got the tow hitch. It's just a really nice looking truck. Definitely one that I'm looking forward to adding to my collection. And also, we have the ERTL tractor here. This is a JI case tractor. I'm not sure on the exact model, so somebody will probably have to tell me. But Douglas apparently picked this up, I think, at his hobby shop as well. They had a really good deal on a bunch of these ERTL tractors and such, so I told him to pick one up for me. And, of course, that's what we have here. Really like these little ERTL tractors. But, I don't know, not too much else I can say about this. I am looking forward to adding this to my antique tractor dealership on my one display. So, you know, obviously these two pieces, you know, they'll be going into my collection. So you saw earlier that Douglas sent me this Thomas, and I've concluded that this is a cake topper. And I only know that because I actually had one of these on my birthday cake when I was in the 3rd grade. And I still have that. I believe it's in one of my containers under the workbench here. But this Thomas, you know, it's pretty similar to ERTL in terms of looks. You know, it's even got that strange coupling on it. But really, it's just one big lump of plastic. There's like nothing separate on this. And what's weird is, you got these holes for what look like screws, but there's, again, nothing there. On the bottom of this, I'm trying to read this. It does say copyright Britt Alcroft Thomas Limited 1998 Deco Pack, I think is what that says. It's really hard to read this. And then, of course, made in China. But it's got a lot of nice Thomas details on it. You can see the foot plate is painted, and you've also got the boiler bands and all the striping's done. Again, it's nicely detailed. And of course, you got that classic Thomas face. And I think I'll go ahead and try to dig out the other cake topper I have here. But before I do that, also wanted to show this Percy. And this is a Subway kids meal toy. And basically, you could get this from Subway back in 2000 for Magic Railroad, which you can see the information under there. And what's amazing about this is that Douglas actually sent me the other characters that were available at Subway, and Percy was the only one I didn't have. He must have come across one recently and sent it my way, and I'm really happy because that basically with Percy that concludes getting the collection. I have everything now, and what I want to do is go ahead and look under the workbench here, find the rest of these characters, and then also I'll see about trying to get the other cake topper out at the same time. Alright, I did get the container, and just open it up here, and you might be able to recognize some of this other stuff from previous fan mail unboxings, but there's Diesel 10, and I also got Lady there, and, right there, Thomas. And I think somewhere in here should also be that cake topper, unless it's in another box. I might have to... Yeah, I think I'm going to have to look in another tub. Alright, I did find everything, and I want to take a look at the Subway toys first here, which I have to say I'm kind of excited to have the entire collection in front of me right now. But you can see we've got Thomas, Percy, Lady, and Diesel 10. And each of these toys varies in what they do. Thomas has a pullback mechanism in him. Percy just has like a noisemaker. You push him along here, he makes this sound. I'm guessing it's supposed to sound like chuffing, but I mean, in my opinion, it sounds more like a tractor. Lady just has this little thing in her that she squeaks. I have no idea what that's about. And then Diesel 10 also has a pullback mechanism in him, which I think is probably just so you can pull him back and you can chase after the other characters. And, it kind of, just in my opinion, despite Magic Railroad being what it was, it is really nice to see basically kids' meal toys like this from Subway of all places. I didn't even know Subway did toys with their kids' meals. But I am kind of surprised that Subway of all restaurant chains, picked up something like this, that you didn't see something like this from like McDonald's or Burger King. I mean, I'm kind of sure that if, one of those restaurants had done something like this, it had probably been more characters. But again, really happy to have the entire collection here. And as you can see, these do have couplers on them, so I'll actually go ahead and hook all the characters together here. And then we can go ahead and run them off of screen. And after that, I'll bring in the cake topper Thomas, which I actually have 3 of these. And this one here would be the one from my birthday cake back in the 3rd grade, which it is different than the one that Douglas sent me, because I notice on the bottom of this it's dated 2001, and of course some of the colors are different. I mean, granted, that's probably to be expected. This one might be a little faded. I know it's also dirty, and that's because I actually found this and the other one in another box of stuff here in the workshop. It wasn't in the tubs under my workbench. But then there's also this one, which I have no idea where this came from. It's also dated 2001, and the colors on this are different as well. But of course, you know, we've got the one Douglas sent me here, and it's dated 98, which I do prefer the colors on this compared to the other two, because this one looks a lot brighter and more cheerful compared to these ones. But, you know, I don't know what the deal is with that. Well, we've also got the two ERTL items that Douglas sent, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that I quite enjoy the ERTL line. I've got quite a collection as well, and I really enjoy the portrait-style packaging that ERTL did up until 2000, which we've got two of them right here. The first one is Iron Bert, and, you know, the Iron Twins in the portrait packaging, I'm a little disappointed in my hobby shop. Back when it was still around, they actually had these at one time, but I kind of drug my feet too long on getting them, and apparently somebody else snatched them up. But you can see here, we do have Iron Bert right there. Quite like the Owen Bell artwork, especially, you know, just the landscape and everything. There we can see Bert in the packaging. And going around to the back of the box, you can see we got the collector card. And we've also got a list of the other items that were in the range. And looking on the bottom here, I'm seeing copyright 2000. You know, so I'm guessing that this was the last year for the portrait packaging. I thought 99 was the last year, with the exception of the Silver Millennium Thomas. But then we've also got the limited edition Duncan. Basically, this is a metallic character. You can see we've got basically the same artwork as Duncan's normal packaging. It's just he's got the metallic finish on him now. And from what I've been told, these metallics from 1998, which is when this came out, they're not that uncommon. The 99 ones are more desirable. But there's Duncan's collector card. You can pause and read any of that if you want to. Another list of what's available, and of course I am seeing a date here of 98 because, you know, like I said, that's when metallics like Duncan came out. He was one of 4, or you could possibly say 6 metallics that came out in 98, because individually there was Duncan, Rheneas, Thomas, and Percy, which you could also get them in a 4-pack, but you could also get Thomas, Henry, and James in a 3-pack in the metallics, which I know the metallic James and Henry are highly sought after. But it's really great to have these two pieces here in the portrait packaging to add to my ERTL portrait packaging collection. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do it in this video, but at some point I do want to give you guys an update on what all portrait packaging characters I have so far. So it took me a while, but I finally figured out what exactly this trash can is, which if I push this little button on the back here, you'll see, "Grrr! My name's Oscar the Grouch, and I hate Ernie the Scalper." Douglas will probably get that reference. But yeah, it's just a Sesame Street toy. You got Oscar the Grouch in this trash can. And I don't know what exactly, if this is supposed to be here. Basically, this little worm was included. If that goes with this. But yeah, I don't know. A bit random, but I am somewhat amused by this. Well, that's not creepy at all. But yeah, this is one of those little surprises that, you know, again, it's quite amusing. Definitely was not expecting to get something like this. Get back in there. To wrap things up, there was also these pamphlets, which I've looked at some of these quite a bit in these fan mail unboxings, and I don't really want to do too much of a repeat. But this one here is post-2000. However, this one is from 1999. And real quick, I do want to look at this because I'm sure this will be a trip down memory lane for a lot of us. But basically, you can see what all was available here. And I mean, I'm noticing things like right there is the Sodor Bay cargo ship. And we've also got the prototype Stepney, which has the Thomas face instead of, Stepney's proper face. You've also got, I think that's the prototype Oliver, which has Thomas's face. Sodor Mail Coach, I definitely remember that. I think my hobby shop had one of those at one time when they had a lot of the wooden railway stuff. Breakdown train, another classic. We've also got, what is that? That's a Scarloey prototype with Percy's face. Ada, Jane, and Mabel and the Sodor China clay cars. I definitely remember wanting those when I was younger. Henry's log car. We've also got the prototype Caldy, which has the ERTL Caldy face on it. What else here? Sodor Railway Repair. That was another popular one. Same with the Flying Scotsman. Trying to look here, not miss anything. The Sodor Log Loader. That was another classic. Transfer table. Just trying to see here. I'm seeing some old stuff here like Henry's Tunnel. Mountain Tunnel, that was a popular one, I know. But going around to the back, we've also got sets. We've got Around the Barrel Loader set. There's a Day at the Works set. Oh, right here we've got the Percy Takes the Plunge set. That's, yeah, one of the older ones. And then we've also got the James Goes Buzz Buzz set, and you can see new for $19.99. Mountain Tunnel set, Circus set. The Circus set just seems weird. The fact that you get Duncan in that and some circus cars, I don't know. But there's some other stuff here, mainly just track and what have you. I don't think I really need to focus on any of that. But yeah, a little trip down memory lane for some of us. I figured that was worth taking a look at. And before I wrap things up, here's another look at everything that Douglas sent along. And, you know, really great to have all these pieces that I can add to my respective collections. Although you've got Oscar being the creep that he is. But yeah, again, really pleased to have all this. And before I sign off, I want to give a big thank you to Douglas for getting all these great things for me and surprising me. You know, it's fans like you that just your continued support and viewership for the channel is very much appreciated. And it just gives me a reason to continue doing what I'm doing. So again, thank you. But anyways, that's going to be it for now. The rest of you guys can feel free to leave your comments down below. Also check out my other pages. Links are provided in the description. And I'll see you guys in another video here shortly.